coming to the next vulnerability. So it is identification and authentication failures. So this vulnerability occurs when an application does not properly identify and authenticate users, okay, and allowing unauthorized access. So how, let's take an example for that. If Amazon allows multiple failed login attempts without locking the user account or verifying via CAPTCHA, so attackers can perform a brute force attack to guess the passwords. So if there is no attempt failure, login attempt failure, let's say if we set 3 login attempt failure, so the user account should be locked. So it is a secure thing, secure practice. So if that is not set, right, we can perform, B means the attacker can perform the brute force attack. So brute force attack is like guessing the passwords, means changing the passwords continuously until it gets logged in. So there will be some set of passwords and so password database. So using some tools, so automated tools like OWASP or Burp Suite. So they can use this brute force attack and try to log in into the user account, okay, without the password, WhatsApp or Burp Suite or any proxy tools, any pen testing tools, we can say. So what will be the consequences of this identification and authentication failures? Definitely unauthorized access to the sensitive data, and then account takeover leading to fraud or reputation damage. So let's say account takeover, like if another person tries to access the other person's account, the hacker. So if that account person, if that gets notified anywhere in the internet, right, so it will be definitely damage to the Amazon, right? So the application the customers will lose the trust on the application. So these are the consequences for of this vulnerability. Coming to the mitigations, like implement the strong password policies and enforce MFA, multi-factor authentication. So if we set any like multi-factor authentication like OTP, or using any Google authentication app or the Microsoft authentication app, right? So there will be a consent before login, right? So this could be a good practice to avoid these kind of a vulnerability. Another thing is a limit failed login attempts. So we need to set a limit for the failed login attempts and use the captcha to prevent brute force attack. Okay. So if we set the captcha right, so there is no option for the brute force. So there will be also a captcha, so that will be block these attacks. Okay. Another thing is use secure session management, like session timeout. So session invalidation, like we need to after 5 minutes or after 10 to 5 minutes, we can set a session timeout for that application. So this is also good security practice. Another other thing is like protect APIs with strong authentication mechanisms. So we need to set the API URLs will be there, right? So API endpoints that need to be have the strong authentication mechanisms. So these are all the good practices, good security practices that we need to follow in order to like avoid this kind of a vulnerability.